It's Tuesday, March 19th, 2019. March 19th, 2019. A little...
3/19/19.
3/19/19. Oh, J. Pagluka, trustee sidekick.
Nobody sent me a pie on Pie Day. I'm disappointed.
That was last week.
Oh.
Today is coffee day, so I brought you coffee day.
Okay, I'm happy now. Thank you.
No, I don't. I made that up.
I got my. I don't care. Every day is coffee.
Yeah. As I said, the wonderful woman down at Dunkin' Donuts put the lid on incorrectly, and I have a 17th degree burn on my hand here.
Does it hurt, Bob?
No. It's
Does it hurt?
No, I didn't even. I just went, oh my God, I'm going to be burned, and then it didn't burn me.
Okay, so you don't even have a first-degree burn.
No, I don't.
Okay.
Where did 17 come from?
Well, I thought it was lower than a third-degree burn would be
the worst.
Oh, a third degree is worse?
Yes. Third degree means your pain receptors have been killed. It's probably open and oozing.
Oh, no. This is minus.
So you had negative degree burns.
Yes.
Negative
0 degree burn.
I was thinking this morning, guys, that
my
father used to say when he woke up in the morning, he said, now what am I going to have to complain about today?
My father never had to say anything like that. He
would
knew.
always say
He knew it was me.
Oh yeah, he would. No, he would immediately
plenty
say,
to complain
what,
about.
What do I have to complain about today? I think New Yorkers wake up like that, and I was in New York for so long that
He might have a point there, Jay.
Huh?
He might have a point there.
Yeah. It's a New York thing.
It is a New York thing, I think.
I know. I'm agreeing with you.
Yeah. See, I'm complaining about your answer. I don't know. All right, so let's get everybody straight here, sort of. I'm Bob Plass. I am the host of Westfield on Weekends. This is Gay. No, what am I? It's not gay. He's not gay at all. Next to me is, gay by association, I guess, maybe. How about that? You'll accept that, won't you?
We don't have to say a thing. We just have to look at him, and it messes him up.
Yeah, sure.
Holy mother! I am the gay guy here.
That's Bob Plass. I'm Jay Pagluca. Pete Cole's
Wait a minute. Hold
on.
on. Trusty, musty, dusty, lusty sidekick, who is also well modulated today in your beautiful gray flannels there. No,
isn't that a fleece?
It's a gray fleece. But all right, we'll go with it.
Yeah, whatever.
He's just totally topsy turvy.
Well, talking about topsy and turvy, your hair is.
Yes.
It is a green color that you only see on leprechauns.
Do not adjust your television set.
Oh, my God. Quite honestly.
So do you want to know the story behind it this year?
Yeah. This is Peter Cole's not trusty sidekick. He is the mad manipulator of March Madness or something like that.
Something like that.
All right, what do you want?
So, I get it shaved next Sunday, right?
You get the head shaved?
Yes.
Is that another thing?
St. Baldrick's.
Oh, that's St. Baldrick's. Okay.
Right.
So I see. St. Baldrick's has nothing to do. I thought it was with coloring of hair.
No.
Shaving of hair.
Shaving of hair.
Oh, I got it.
So what I do as an extra fundraiser is my highest bidder a week before gets to pick my hair color for the week.
I see. Okay.
And the winner was Tina Gorman.
And because Tina is celebrating St. Patrick's Day.
Nope. She picked it because her mother-in-law, who was 100% Irish,
yes,
passed away around this time last year, and they buried her on St. Patrick's Day.
Oh, my word.
And the entire family dressed up for the funeral was in Irish sweaters and things like that.
Oh, of course.
So they said. So this is a remembrance to the Gorman family.
Oh, how lovely! It's actually
Tina always has a story behind her hair color pick.
Oh yeah, what? Does she have many hair colors?
No, for me.
Oh, for you. Oh,
yes,
I was going to say
she usually outbids everybody.
Oh, all right, okay, all right. Actually, Tina has a great show on Wednesdays here. I don't know who's on tomorrow, but you got to check it out.
Akinyele Lovelace and who else has she got?
Who's Lovelace?
Dr. Lovelace.
Dr. Lovelace, and what kind of doctor?
He's a primary care physician.
Ah, great. And so check that out. It's her Wednesday program on WSKV and stuff. Mm-hmm. So how did you guys spend St. Patrick's Day? Speaking of St. Patrick's Day.
It was a weekend.
A meek-end. More a Marian weekend.
A Marian weekend.
Okay,
which
so
means
you were
1 weekend a month.
Yeah.
I am hers to do with as she pleases.
Oh, my God. Are there chains involved in that? No.
Yeah, sometimes I got to learn just not to say anything at all.
So what did you do with Marion?
I can't say.
Oh, my God.
That means you were right, Bob.
Oh, stop. Oh, no. They must have gone out to dinner or something.
Actually, it was a nice weekend. We had a night out with friends. And did
you go out to dinner?
No, Sunday morning, every now and then we'll get a group of people together for a Sunday morning run over to West Side. There's a place called Crepes Tea House over there.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, of course. Yeah. Oh, yeah. It's the Russian. We talked about it.
It's a fun place.
Remember, I went there and I ordered something that I could have had at the diner down there.
Yeah,
without crepes, yeah.
But and I love all the teas. I'm a coffee drinker normally, but in there they have vanilla and orange and cinnamon and anything you ever thought of, and you learn all kinds of things about teas. But it's a cool place.
Yeah. Geez, you're almost approaching senior status when you take a group out for breakfast. Because, on Saturday...
I've done that before.
Oh, no. But there are things called breakfast clubs as a senior.
Yeah, sure.
And oftentimes they are in a coffee shop. You'll see them...
Well, if that's the case, how come there was a movie about high school kids?
Yeah, it's a good idea.
The Breakfast Club.
Yeah.
So there.
Yeah, all right. Yeah. So, but
Getting a little
majority of people,
thing,
majority of people who are first high schoolers now in this day and age, and college kids are probably not around the table sitting eating breakfast. If I'm not mistaken, right?
I don't sit around and eat breakfast. Sometimes I hit a restaurant on the way to somewhere, but I'm in a hurry in the morning. I've got places to go.
Oh.
So to sit down for any more than 5 minutes, to me is I don't have time
this
for
is
that.
what makes me a senior. Because
No, that's what makes you retired.
retired, I guess. I don't go to breakfast clubs usually because I find that I don't want to talk to anybody at this early in the morning except for you guys.
Well, that's all different. That just means you're a grumpy old guy.
Yeah. On the day of the breakfast club, I decided I would complain about breakfast clubs, so I wouldn't go.
Which is another one of my favorite movies, Grumpy Old Men. Oh, that was it. Now in the
Did
80s,
you live in Minnesota?
when that came out, I thought it was hilarious. Now that I am a grumpy old man, it's just beyond
it is
hilarious.
It's reality. It's reality TV. So when you see a group of folks at Dunkin' Donuts or Leo's, James goes to a group on Tuesday mornings at Leo's. Now I could go afterward and sit there.
Sure.
And I love these people. They're fun, etc., etc. But for some reason, maybe it's my refusal to do anything senior-like, although I do. I do everything senior-like. I get out of a chair.
Maybe you just want to let James have his own time.
Yeah. Well, that's true. That's true because then I get up. I go to the thing. I went there on Saturday because James, who's now in a boot very nicely because of his fall and his breaking. Oh, Carrie is in a. Oh,
she's in a boot now too.
So they're walking with a boot, but I didn't want him to walk downtown. So I was kind of forced to get up. Not really. I kindly got up. But let's put it.
I don't think forced and kindly aren't even close.
No, I know. I didn't even complain. I just got there.
You're complaining now.
I'm not. Well, I woke up this morning saying what am I going to complain about today, and now I've complained about. It's only 15 minutes into the show. What have I complained about?
Just about everything.
No, it's 14 minutes into the show. You have another minute.
I have another minute. What could I complain about? Well, I could always go to Washington and talk about politics, but I'm not complaining about that. But read the New York Times this morning about Deutsche Bank and the Trump world, and you'll be amazed and or shocked with some new information. So,
that's okay. Read all the stories about the Saudis and the Clinton Foundation.
Oh boy, there you go again. Deflecting. That's called deflection.
No, that's called equal time.
Deflection. I call it. All right. We'll choose to disagree.
They're all dirty as sin.
All right, they are. The entire world is dirty. And,
no.
Have you ever seen House of Cards?
Yeah, right. Exactly.
Oh God, yes, yeah. So at any rate, I have had a good weekend. For St. Patrick's Day, I cooked corned beef and cabbage at home. And
did you watch the parade or go to the parade?
You know what? I
missed it completely.
I'm no longer on Comcast.
You could have watched it online.
I have Whip City Fiber. I could have, yeah.
22 was streaming it online.
22 was
Channel 22 was doing the parade. They streamed it online.
Oh my God!
Because I had a friend of mine from Florida watching it on her smart TV.
Oh, see, I could have done that on my smart television, couldn't I? You've gone on that.
Sure,
I found
the internet.
I found that you need to be smart in order to set up your smart TV. So my smart TV is not smart yet.
Okay, all right. So.
So when's your resident IT guy coming over?
You mean the 6-year-old from down the road?
Right.
Yeah.
I
heard it was really good. I
texted Bo Sullivan, really cool. Who was the Westfield
parade marshal.
I texted him to congratulate him and to tell him to enjoy a pint for me or whatever. And
only one?
Yeah. Well, two or
See,
three.
My favorite after parade spot is closed.
What is that?
The waterfront used to be my best spot to go to.
That's
after
closed?
Yeah,
that's where Mike Knappich used to have his big shenanigans after the
the
parade.
waterfront, and they haven't. I don't think they'll reopen yet. I know they closed last fall.
Ah,
So I know where to go, and I ended up having lunch with my girlfriend and her son.
I have
very
people
nice.
tell me where to go.
Yeah.
we
Did
did.
you have corned beef at all?
No,
you
we were
haven't-
corned beef off.
Oh,
I had corned beef on Thursday at Tiger's Pride, and it was excellent.
Oh, yeah.
So I don't want to ruin
This
this.
was the first corned beef I cooked, and I
How?
I boiled the hell out of it, and I cooked my boiled dinner, cabbage, potatoes, and all that, in another pot so that it didn't get greasy or whatever. And
but you want to impart some of the flavor, don't you?
Oh, I suppose maybe I should have, but I've read something very interesting that I found out. You know how when you cook cabbage and your house smells like cabbage?
Yeah.
You've cooked it too long. Apparently, you're only supposed. You go online how to boil cabbage. Now it sounds strange that I would be how to boil something, but I just said, am I doing something? I want to learn how to do this properly. So there's a whole instructional thing on how to boil cabbage, and you boil it for 15 minutes at a high speed, and then you simmer it, and it's a half hour of boiling. But it says take it off before this time because it will begin to smell if it's overcooked. And lo and behold, I did it correctly, and my house didn't smell of cabbage.
See, I'd rather have
I never knew that.
I like it overcooked.
Do you like it overcooked?
Yeah,
gotcha.
I don't like it al dente.
Okay.
See, well, first of all, as far as boiling cabbage, first you got to learn to boil water, and I haven't learned to do that yet.
Oh, okay,
so
that's right.
Then, as far as making the house smell,
maybe on one of those weekends, those Marion weekends, you could learn to boil water for.
Yeah. Then as far as making the house smell,
yeah.
Well, after I eat cabbage.
Oh, stop it!
He's got a point there.
Oh God! Yeah, but you know what? There is something like. So I ate a ton. James and I ate a ton of corned beef, and I went to the store because I also wanted to find the right mustard to go with it, and it doesn't matter what mustard you get, but I got honey mustard, and boy. We ate a ton, so much that my GERD kicked up. That my infamous GERD.
Sure.
It kicked up for the first time in a long while because of the corned beef. But you know what? I still had a taste of corned beef on the day after. So at any rate.
See, I like if I make a whole corned beef, I like making hash afterwards.
Oh, that's a great idea.
Homemade hash.
Yeah, but I didn't find... I had a 4-pound corned beef.
Yep.
Do they come any bigger than that?
No, that's a big one.
No, you get you buy 2 of them, and then you have an 8-pound corned beef.
Well, I'll tell you, we ate half of that corned beef at the meal. I mean, I might have.
Oh, it can be very addicting.
Yeah. Oh my God. It's that salt in that. Oh, and the idea that it just melts in your mouth. Oh, it was wonderful. But it was a great St. Patrick's Day.
Now I got to go scour the stores and find deals so I can smoke a corned beef or make some pastrami.
Oh yeah. Oh, that would be great. Mm-hmm. I love a Reuben, which is cabbage and sauerkraut. Corned beef and Swiss cheese, right?
Yeah.
Is that
and
German
Thousand
mint?
Island sauce.
Oh, yeah.
Thousand Island dressing.
But you got to get it in New York, or it ain't a real Reuben.
Says you.
Sounds like a complaining New Yorker.
Right.
At any rate, yeah.
Hey, 6:19 in the morning.
Yeah. Hey, let's play a song. I was watching. I'm watching a great series called Jack Taylor. I'll talk about it a little later with our friends Jessica. We have a guest who writes horror stories, so mystery horror, and it's actually horror more. And so I was watching Jack Taylor. It's a great TV series. It takes place in Ireland, and they said, last week I didn't play one Irish song, and they sang this song in the series this week, and it is "The Water Is Wide," that old, beautiful, beautiful Irish folk song. And so I knew Eva Cassidy did it, but I'm not playing Eva Cassidy because I listened to Eva Cassidy. I listened to tons of people doing this song, and this is the one who gets my heart. And it's of course, James Taylor. I play James every so often, maybe more often than not, but James Taylor gets to the heart of The Water is Wide.
Underwriting for WSKB's community radio programming is brought to you in part by R. Levesque Associates. They are offering landscape architecture, civil engineering, environmental permitting, and land surveying. RLA is a second-generation company devoted to excellence in the planning and design of outdoor spaces. On the web at rlaland.com or at 40 School Street in Westfield.
Give a Hoot Day 2019. Fellow Westfield State students and alumni, please join us for this year's Give a Hoot Day on April 10th and 11th. The Give a Hoot event plans to focus 1,839 minutes of their efforts on encouraging donor participation in support of securing the best possible future for the university as well as its current students. This year, Give a Hoot Day is putting emphasis on increasing student participation with the event. For Give a Hoot Day, donation jars will be located in both Wilson Cafe and the Dining Commons, one for each class, as a fun way to raise money for the university. When placing a donation, students will have the chance to write down their name and graduation year. The class with the most students who participated will win a cash prize for their class council. Hashtag Give a Hoot Day will be held on April 10th and 11th this year at Westfield State University. We are encouraging all students to wear their Westfield State University gear on these days to help showcase their school pride and sense of community.
We thank the generosity of our underwriters. For more information, please contact the Westfield State Foundation at 413-572-8646. Wednesday mornings start off right from 6 to 8 a.m. with Tina Gorman and Wake Up Wednesday.
Community Radio
89.5 WSKB.
Live from the campus of Westfield State University, This is 89.5 FM, WSKB, Westfield.
Wow, it's Tuesday morning, March 19th, 2019. I'm over complaining. I don't complain. I'm really not a complainer. I just
You want something to complain about? I'll give you something to complain about.
Oh, yeah, okay. Hey,
Carrie agrees with you, though. She was texting me during that first segment.
What was that?
She said, everybody has something to complain about.
yeah, but I wonder if people wake up in the morning. What am I going to be complaining about today? I know. If you find yourself doing that, I guess you're...
Ken's den, Ken Stomsky probably does.
Oh, he probably does. He's got a rant for every day, yeah.
I have the cure for
What is this?
everything that you can complain about.
Liquor?
No, music.
Right after that.
Yeah,
But you're
yeah.
right, it's music.
Music. And I bet there's a certain thing that's happening
Or
that would help.
entertainment in general really can, get out, see some live entertainment, enjoy yourself, and not just stuff here in Westfield, but get around anywhere. Just you got to get out once in a while. We have some things coming up here in town. A week from Thursday is going to be JP's Golden Age of Radio Live happening.
Oh my God, we
right
have
here
to
at the
talk
college.
about. Oh yeah, we forgot about that.
We'll be talking about on Friday. We're going to rerun a segment that Michael Buster McMahon and I recorded yesterday. Actually, we were on air live yesterday, and talking about this and how he got to write the plays, and WSKB's own Michael Buster McMahon.
Yeah, he's on
Monday morning,
8
to 10.
Correct.
Yeah. And
he's a playwright, and he's written a couple of plays that you're going to perform.
Yeah, so we'll actually perform just as if it was, do a flashback to the 40s.
Oh,
You'd walk
terrific.
into a radio studio. You'd have folks, actors on stage reading directly from their scripts. And usually there'll be a band in the studio as well. And we will be no different. We're going to have the Westfield State University Jazz Band joining us on stage.
Oh, they're great. Oh, they're real great.
That's happening.
I got to put it. I'm looking on my calendar here. Wait a minute. What day is it?
A week from Thursday. It'll be March 28th.
March 28th.
At 7 o'clock at the Dower Center here at the college.
Okay.
If you don't know where the Dower Center is, look up Juniper Park School on your
Sure.
GPS.
And if I wanted information, where do I go for this?
Juniper Park School next Thursday at 7 o'clock. That's where you go.
Radio play. Okay.
Yeah, there's nothing online on it yet. We're going to post a few things on Facebook. I'm going to try and get an event page done today or tomorrow.
Gotcha. So it's 7 o'clock?
7 o'clock.
At the Dower Center. Okay.
Yeah.
And it's going to be a sort of a...
$5 for students and seniors and $10 for everybody else, and all
Right.
proceeds go to the Westfield State Jazz Band.
Exactly right.
Oh,
Yeah.
my God. Oh, terrific.
Yeah. So it's
it a murder mystery that he's written? What is it?
There's a couple of them.
What's it called?
Oh,
What are
what were
There's
the
3
names?
of them.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
There's 2 15-minute plays and a 30-minute play.
Wow, a 2.5-hour show. That's
No, an hour, Bob.
Did you
Two,
forget
you
how
said
to do
2:30.
math?
2 15s
Oh,
and
2 15-minute plays.
and a
That's
30.
that's an hour.
little intermissions in between to reset.
Yeah, and the band will play a few songs. So
Okay.
it'll probably total out about an hour and a half.
Perfect.
Yeah, so it'll be a good show.
Perfect.
Yeah.
And
one of them is a murder mystery.
And then there's a love story, and there's everything kind of
A little bit of everything.
He's a pretty wonderful writer too. Yeah.
The
really?
last
So
one we do is a comedy, so it'll be
terrific.
fun.
Oh, God, so I got it in the book. Let's hope I'll be able to make it.
What do you mean? Let's hope.
All right, I'm going to
Come on, Bob. We need a commitment right now. Put it in there.
Yeah.
Yes, you
I
said
right
I
here.
have to do
right
this.
here. I've got I'm taking James to get the boot off in the morning.
All right, so James will be fully mobile.
So he'll be mobile.
All right.
And then
So that's happening next Thursday.
right, and then I got it in here. Look,
And then
on
April 12th,
April
Friday.
12th.
Friday.
No, it's
April 12th.
Sunday.
Friday.
I was almost afraid because I have a dinner date on Saturday, April 13th. We're going to dinner at some.
And why
place.
were you afraid, Bob?
Because I was say, how do I I can't be in two places at once?
You don't have to be, because that's on Saturday. We're doing Friday.
I know. I was relieved. So, Chicago Total Access.
It's a Chicago tribute band.
Mm-hmm.
They're out of Rhode Island.
Right.
They're a very good band.
Very good. So good that I couldn't. The guy looks like Peter Cetera.
Go out online.
I saw him last night.
ChicagoTotalAccess.com. And they actually have a cool video out there, too, but it's a good video of the band playing. And that's all going to benefit the Westfield Police Auxiliary. And these are the guys that enable us to do all of the great outdoor events that we do here in town. Not only on the green, but First Night, the fireworks, Pumpkin Fest. All the great things that we've done around town that require a safety presence.
And these guys don't have a salary. That's the thing. When you're the auxiliary police are helper police.
Well, they're some of them are retired cops. Some of them are
retired firefighters.
Academy. Some are, they are.
Yeah, and they buy their own uniforms usually, and donate their time so many hours.
So we're trying to help them out, and it's an excuse for me to come out and play.
Hey, you want to tell who's sponsoring it? So I see the sign here. You might as well do that there, Jason.
WMAS, Rock 102, and our friends at 97.7, the Valley's Classic Rock. And don't forget Westfield News. Patrick Barry and the Westfield News have been a great supporter of the arts here in Westfield for many, many years. So,
and it's so great to have a local, still working, it's still a town paper, and it actually is a community paper of note, and I like reading it. We get it every night. I love it.
So that's April 12th over at the Westfield Technical Academy.
And the price is really right. I mean, again, what's that price?
$25 and up.
Really?
You can pay a little more and get a little closer.
Oh, all right. Okay, gotcha. Is there a children's price at all?
No.
$25
and up.
All right. Okay. I'm going to save my money.
You're trying to get in cheap, Bob?
Is there a senior price? I know it. Oh, yeah. I'm always asking. I'm at the window at Taco Bell. Do you have a senior rate? Et cetera, et cetera. Hey, Hal Blaine, I forget. I don't know whether we talked about him. I don't think we did. Hal Blaine, the drummer from Holyoke, died last week. He lived in Holyoke for a good part of his life, and he actually is somebody who is in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame.
Wasn't he part of the Wrecking Crew?
He was the Wrecking, and there's a great documentary on the Wrecking Crew.
I know, I've seen it.
Have you seen it?
Oh, it's incredible.
Yeah. I heard him on with Terry Gross on PBS in an old interview.
I love Terry Gross.
Oh, yeah.
She is the best interviewer I've ever heard.
Yeah, and she interviews, this is how influential this guy, Hal Blaine, is, about how he laid down a drum solo in the Ronettes hit by Be My Baby that is used forever. I mean, it's a classic drum. Everybody used this drum. And he was on the Wrecking Crew is like Glenn Campbell as well. He's like one of those. He was
part of that,
the folks who were like studio musicians.
They were the session musicians that put a ton of hits over the top.
Oh, my God. So he died at age, I think, 91 last week, and rest his soul. But he's left a big legacy. And I thought, geez, let's go back and let's play the Be My Baby song to hear his drum solo that was imitated forever from the Beatles right on down. And he really played right till the end of his life. He played the drums right to the end of his life. So here we go. Rest in peace, Hal Blaine, and Be My Baby. I love this song.
I'll make you so proud of me.
Support for the community programming of WSKB is provided by Westfield Bank. For more than 160 years, Westfield Bank has been an important community presence and commercial leader in the Pioneer Valley. With convenient full banking services in Westfield, West Springfield, East Longmeadow, Agawam, Feeding Hills, Springfield, Southwick, as well as Enfield and Granby, Connecticut, visit us on the web at westfieldbank.org. We thank the generosity of our underwriters. For more information, please contact the Westfield State Foundation at 413-572-8646.
It's Tuesday morning from 6 till 8. Wow, it's Tuesday with Bob Plass.
Community Radio.
89.5 WSKB.
Live from the campus of Westfield State University, this is 89.5 FM, WSKB, Westfield.
Wow, it's Tuesday morning. It is March 19th, 2019, and we're having a good time today. Peter Coles, kitten of the keys, meow, and JPEG Luca, trusty, dusty, and modulated psychic. Hey, it's going to be spring in 2 days. Did you know that?
Well, it's got to warm up to be spring.
Oh, yeah, but you know, the sun has been so bright. Oh, God, it's been wonderful.
The moon was bright this morning,
The
too,
moon?
but it's still cold. It's 20 degrees.
The moon was 14 feet across. As
Good morning, moon.
Oh, my
Yeah.
God. What causes that?
Nothing. It's the same size as it's always been.
Yeah, but are we closer to it?
No,
I know.
it's an optical illusion.
Peter, who stepped out of the room, would probably... this is an optical illusion.
Actually, if you were to use some device to measure the width of the moon, when it's straight up in the sky and when it's down at the horizon, just a reasonable...
Sure.
You could actually, your thumb or your finger or whatever, you put it up, and it will cover the moon. And it will do the same whether it's up in the sky or whether it's down by the horizon. The only difference is when it's near the horizon, you have other things to compare it to nearby, so it looks bigger because you know how big the thing is here. So near the ground, the mountain in the distance. So it's an optical illusion. It looks smaller when it's straight up.
Unbelievable that you explain that perfectly. Now I get it. Okay, but there's nothing better than this huge moon. It reminded me of Star Trek. There's a scene in Star Trek, the first movie, where it's a red moon or something on the Star Trek planet, and it is huge and right over the horizon, just like that moon was this morning. But
it's cool stuff.
So it is in the 40s and the 50s. Do you think I still have a little bit of snow left here and there, but not? The croci are coming up.
The croci?
The crocuses. I call them the croci.
The croci?
Yeah.
Is that more than one frog?
That's more than one crocus.
Okay.
Yeah. The spring's vomit is yet to come
It
up.
hasn't been warm enough.
No. The spring's vomit, James currently calls, or is always called, forsythia, spring's vomit.
What if it's Five-Scythia?
Yeah, I was used to call it Forsythia because because I had my friend in Buffalo, Cynthia O'Shea, and so I would call it
Forsythia.
Yeah, the Forsythia is out. Yeah,
and
yeah.
Did
And
Cynthia,
I love
and
Forsythia.
Did Cynthia know it's for her?
Yes. Yeah.
Okay.
As a matter of fact, she does. She really does. Hey, I have a question for you dog lovers out there. Peter, can you help me with this? I'm as my resident veterinarian. Frankie. I don't have any other veterinarian to go to right at the moment, so I'm going to Peter. Peter, Frankie
the big furry
has
dog.
My big furry Briard, 9 years old, and still complete, as we say, in show business, has taken, this is new behavior. When the fire trucks used to ride by,
yes,
he would bay at the moon, like that. There you are. Okay, so now the fire trucks aren't going, and he wants to go out on the porch or outside a lot. And when he goes out, regardless of whether it's a fire truck or not, he's baying. And somebody told me that there must be a dog in the area, a female dog in the area that's in heat. And
Could very well be, yeah.
And is this the mate? Is that a mating call or
Could
something?
be, yeah.
Oh God! I mean, like it's so pathetic. I mean, he's never going to win a woman with whining like that. Oh my God! And I can't make him stop, and I certainly don't want him to go scouting in the neighborhood.
I was wondering if it was high pitched noise that when the fire trucks went by.
Yeah,
maybe
that's what I
ringing.
thought.
Maybe there's ringing in his ears, and he's hearing the same sound.
But he wants to go outside in order to do this.
So there's probably a dog in heat.
Oh gosh, and does that indicate that if the dog were present, then I might have puppies sooner or later?
Well, that depends.
Found out,
Frankie's a male, right?
Right.
Then you would not have puppies.
That's
somebody
true.
else would have puppies.
Oh, I get it. Oh God, Rusty, who lives around the corner, his great friend. She's her name is Rusty. She's a she.
Mm-hmm.
Better watch out. So, is there anything I can do? Do I throw hot water on him?
Cold water, yes.
Cold. I'm not going to throw. I should have let him enjoy this. Is that painful though for him to express? I mean, it sounds like he's in pain or something.
It's what a dog does, Bob.
Oh,
it's just being a dog.
Is there a male equivalent in humans?
What are you saying, Bob? What are you
I look right over it. I look and well modulated over there.
Have you ever serenaded a partner before?
Yeah, that's how I won.
Duh.
Oh yeah. That's how I got James in.
No, you don't have to describe it any further.
No. I sang that old wonderful song.
I know we've heard.
Oh yeah, all right. I'm not going to go.
That's how we know we don't want it.
All right. Hey, it is 6:45 in the morning, and Jessica Martin is on her way in. We're going to have a great time. She's so much fun. But before that, we were talking about Chicago Total Access on April 12th, and
so we started talking about dog mating season.
Oh yeah, we got off that, but we don't have to talk about. We talked enough about Chicago Total Access April 12th at Westfield Technical Academy. I just want to play a song by Chicago. Yeah, so this is from Chicago 30. Do you believe they had 30 some odd? I mean,
they were quite prolific from the album standpoint, but the complexion of the band changed a lot over the years.
Oh, sure,
and the style of the band changed. It was never. It was originally a big horn band. And
right.
They evolved, and the horns kind of faded away.
Yeah,
and
David Foster came in there, like I said last week. But this is tight harmonies.
Harmonies were always solid
okay.
there.
So my question then was: Chicago were musicians, and then suddenly they decided to sing, or because Peter Cetera sang at the beginning and of their stuff.
No, they always had lyrics and a vocal. But the horns were much more prominent in the early days,
right?
In the through
and
the
I
70s.
miss that though.
Yeah, I do too, because that's
why I like Tower of Power.
Yeah, it's kind of what defined Chicago in my mind, and this band, the band that'll be here in a couple of weeks is no different. It's a 10-piece band,
right.
So they have a wonderful horn section,
right?
You'll.
But these close, tight harmonies.
Yeah.
Unbelievable. And they start this Caroline song with these tight harmonies.
Yep.
And so let's play Caroline. This is from Chicago XXX. It's I like this song.
Caroline, there's always people talking, it makes their world go round. just too short for that and that and that and that. And you know it ain't easy, but girl, you gotta let it go. Caroline, just believe in me. Caroline, everything will be just fine. This is your girl, Caroline. Everything will be just fine. Oh, Caroline, my
Support for the community programming of WSKB is provided by the Barnes and Noble College Bookstore in the Ely Campus Center, offering Westfield State t-shirts, sweatshirts, and gift merchandise, all of your academic needs, and offering textbook materials in new, used, ebook, and rental formats. Available at the bookstore on campus or online at westfieldstate.bncollege.com. Support for the community programming of WSKB is provided by Comcast and Xfinity.com, offering Xfinity TV, Internet, home phone, and home security services. Information on all that Xfinity has to offer in the Westfield area is available online at Xfinity.com.
Give a Hoot Day 2019. Fellow Westfield State students and alumni, please join us for this year's Give a Hoot Day on April 10th and 11th. The Give a Hoot event plans to focus 1,839 minutes of their efforts on encouraging donor participation in support of securing the best possible future for the university as well as its current students. This year, Give a Hoot Day is putting emphasis on increasing student participation with the event. For Give a Hoot Day, donation jars will be located in both Wilson Cafe and the Dining Commons, one for each class, as a fun way to raise money for the university. When placing a donation, students will have the chance to write down their name and graduation year. The class with the most students who participated will win a cash prize for their class council. Hashtag Give a Hoot Day will be held on April 10th and 11th this year at Westfield State University. We are encouraging all students to wear their Westfield State University gear on these days to help showcase their school pride and sense of community.
We thank the generosity of our underwriters. For more information, please contact the Westfield State Foundation at 413-572-8646. Discussions of local politics, events, happenings, and miscellany potpourri. Ken's Den, Tuesday, 8 to 10. Live from the campus of Westfield State University, this is 89.5 FM, WSKB, Westfield.
Wow, it's Tuesday morning, and it is March 19th, 2019. It is
Somebody has to keep this train running on time.
Thank you, Peter Coles, kitten of the keys, and maker of March Madness, something like that. Has March Madness started?
The brackets are out, so it's starting in a couple days.
Oh, okay. Great.
Do your brackets.
All basketball, all the time.
Listen to that modulation. That's JPEG Luca. And guess who's joined us with her beautiful new hair color? Is Jessica Martin. Jessica, morning. Jessica, we talked the last time, a month ago, when you were in, and you asked me about the color of you're turning a certain age and you're going blonde.
Yes, I am. That's
You're
going
gonna
to
be
be
30?
my big celebration. I'm actually going to be 29 again. Yes,
Sorry about
that's-
that. I'm making her a year older.
I'm not afraid to say I am going to be turning 40 this year. I said I wasn't afraid to say it. Then
Yeah,
it was
there was still the
Really?
hesitation.
I was choked on that. Yeah.
It's happening, but I find that a lot of friends my age are going crazy a little bit and trying to plan these big extravagant events and watershed moments in life, a big party, a big this, a big that. And so I decided I'm going to be blonde. I'm going to turn 40 as a blonde. I've never been blonde.
So and you are normally what color? Here.
Very dark brunette. Some people would even say that I had black hair if they weren't looking close enough.
Yeah. No. So in order to go blonde, you have to go
In stages. Yes.
So this is stage 2, stage
This
3.
is just stage 1. I had my hair bleached just one time. And
Really?
Yeah, and then I'm using the shampoos and stuff that are supposed to help, lighten and,
Keep it,
blonde you.
It has red in it.
It
as
does,
well.
yeah. Well,
I was
guess
saying
that's
how much it looked like my dog's ears. I
Again.
mean, that's a compliment because
because you're right. Frankie is very good looking.
There you go. That's how I look as a blonde.
Oh, there we are. Peter's
Pete has
got a
also
butt.
recently bleached his hair. See?
Yeah. But the green is not anywhere close to where you are.
I look pretty good as a blonde.
Hey,
Should I add some green?
My
What do you
sister
think?
took a picture of Frankie to her hairstylist and
Stop
said,
it.
"I want this."
That's funny.
Frankie does have
Honestly.
good hair. I mean, I will
Well,
say.
it's all over. I mean,
It's
it's
true.
Dogs have different shades. I mean, it's not just one shade. And
Multifaceted color.
So you are approaching Frankie.
That's what I'm going for. I'm going to bring his picture next time I go. Style me like Frankie.
And then you could wear those two ponytails at either side of your head. A lot of people like to look like their cats and their dogs. They kind of grow into it.
I don't know if they like it, but it ends up happening.
That's right. You don't have a cat or a dog that you're growing into, are you?
I'm too afraid that would happen. I don't need a pet to be weird, right?
Oh, no,
nor do we.
No. Jessica, you're here because you're a great guest, but you are also here because you know almost as much as Dennis Akins, who is Master of the Universe.
Whoa!
And our friend, and you are a smart woman. You are
Thank you.
realtor, a beekeeper, a bookstore aficionado.
That's true.
What else?
When did your bees get swag?
Yeah.
My
I
bees
saw that.
have their own web store. Isn't that funny?
Yeah.
They have their own swag.
What?
No lie.
Because Sean is a professional musician.
Yeah, her husband's
a lot of
a-
bands and record labels and
right.
things. And we were talking about selling our honey with a friend of ours, and like just what a daunting thing it is, because honey is heavy and sticky, and it's in glass jars, and it's not easy to transport,
Yeah.
and you can't leave it out in the cold in your car, and it's just that sounds complainy. We're talking about complaining today, so I'm complaining about my hobby.
It's a New York thing.
But everyone, always says, "Oh, can I get some honey?" And then I forget to bring it, and it just becomes a thing. So we were talking about that, and a friend of ours has his own record label, and he does online stores for bands and makes merchandise. So he said, "What about a web store?" And I was like, "Yeah, it sounds like a great idea, but I don't want to do it." And he said, "What if we did it?" So we partnered up with them, and they put us up a really nice website, and we have T-shirts and pins and tote bags, and
Okay.
you can buy our honey online. It's great.
Oh, really? And what's the name of the honey and the T-shirt?
The
thing?
MartinHives.com.
The Martin Hives.
Mm-hmm.
It sounds
Sounds like something you can catch.
I know.
Oh,
Funny,
sounds
right?
sci-fi.
Yeah.
I'm beginning to itch right
The
now.
Martin Hives. Yeah, get your honey.
yeah.
Get your honey fix over there.
And
That's cute.
And it has a bee on the sweatshirt.
Yeah,
and
we
stuff,
have
or
cute
tee-
little T-shirts and buttons. Yeah, see, now that we talked about it, next time I'll bring some stuff so you guys can check it out.
No, I
Yeah.
want my Martin Hive
Yeah,
sweater.
get your
Mar-
little lapel pin. You can walk around with that on
like
your
it.
get your collar.
right on my holy shirt over here.
Yeah, well,
I'm
Sunday
wearing a
shirt, yeah.
sweater.
You've already got pinholes in
I
your
know.
sweater.
I've got 14 holes in the sweater, and I know that I have holes. When you know that that you have holes, I don't know. This is one of my favorite sweaters, but you want me to throw it
When
out.
you see the hole in the sweater, you are not supposed to wear it again. I'm just saying, it's.
All right, so
See,
this
now
is
you got me checking to make sure I don't
make
have a
sure
hole
you
in
don't
my
have
job.
any
Yeah.
holes.
Yeah.
Yep.
All right. So this is what I'm going to do. This is what I was told to do. I'm supposed to. Oh, look at there's another hole there.
Have
Oh, my
mercy.
God. Oh my God, that's a. I'm crawling with
or,
holes.
or wear it again, because next time it's just going to fall off your body.
Oh
and-
my God! Oh yeah, and when you can see your hand in pictures through, I can see on the other side. You know it's thin down. It's like that fleece that keeps unfleecing that I have. I'm going to throw that out too.
Yep, I'm going to throw that out too.
Okay, so here's what I do. You're supposed to take the object in your hand, said, and this is the last time I'm going to do this.
Marie Kondo?
Yeah. Thank you for being with me for so many years and filling up my life.
Thank you for the joy you've provided by my wearing you.
And then you give a little kiss.
Oh, I didn't know about the kissing.
Yeah. Well, that's if you really like it. And I really like this thing. I'm going to take it home. I'm going to throw it out. And that's it. Jay, at the meeting tonight, I'll be wearing something completely different. And if you see a hole, don't keep it to yourself. For now, but I'm running out of sweaters. I'm running out of.
There are more sweaters in the world. You can grab another one.
Right.
We even have a store in town that sells them.
I might be able to get a Martin Hives sweater.
I could probably make that happen for you.
Oh no, I'm not. No, I would pay for it, of course. So at any rate, so Jess, it's 7:00 in the morning here on WSKB Westfield, right here on the campus of Westfield State University, beautiful campus of Westfield State. Martins are you're Irish and English, right? And then
my husband is Irish. Yes.
So did you have a Irish weekend?
I wouldn't call it an Irish weekend per se, but we did have some corned beef on Sunday. We just went out and ate because my husband comes from a very Irish family, so his mom was the first of his family born here. Yeah. And he has the dual citizenship and all that stuff.
Oh, he does?
Yeah, he lived in Ireland, he's worked in Ireland. So that's kind of our retirement dream. But he, as an actual Irish person, doesn't enjoy St. Patrick's Day.
He's traditional. He's not American.
What do you mean?
He says
it's an American holiday.
He doesn't think it's cool for everyone, or he doesn't like when everyone's pretending that it's cool to be Irish, because it's not.
Oh my God! Really?
Yes. Yeah. So he likes to get up on the high horse of being like, this is not a real holiday. So. We don't partake in parades.
It is in the state of Massachusetts.
And shamrock necklaces and things of
that's the real Irish people over there abroad don't celebrate it as much. And in fact, poor St. Joseph, who comes on the day after St. Patrick, his feast day is March 18th. And he is the saint of French folks. And St. Joseph's Day is totally overlooked. And he had a lot to do, apparently St. Joseph had a lot to do with the history of the world and so he comes in on a boat someplace and either founds it or whatever.
That had the history of the world. Mel Brooks.
Oh, he did. But this guy's part of it. He would be, was St. Patrick in the Mel Brooks history of the world? I would bet he might be.
A long time ago. Well, actually,
driving the snakes out of wherever.
He'd be in part 2.
Oh, yeah.
But they haven't done part 2 yet.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
He'd be in part 2.
Yeah.
But I should be playing a French song. Maybe I'll find a French song for next week to play because St. Joseph's Day was yesterday, and it's a big holiday for French folks, or in France, I guess. I don't know. That's what I've been told. So at any rate, hey, you're selling any houses lately?
Lots of houses, yes. Thank you for asking. I've been very busy, which is great. And now things are about to get a little crazier because now you have that spring market that everyone loves to wait for.
What does that mean?
That it's hard to say. People say don't try and sell your house in the wintertime, but then it's still, you do move a lot of property.
Yeah, because everyone has that spring market mindset, there are fewer people selling their houses after the holidays through the winter until this time of year, but there are still people who didn't buy a house by the time November rolled around, and they're still looking. They don't just stop looking. So there's fewer houses on the market, but there's also fewer buyers to compete compete with.
Uh-huh.
And right now there is that low inventory thing. So in Western Mass and where I am in Connecticut, there are fewer houses, especially at the entry level first time buyer price point. There are fewer houses than there are buyers. So a lot of times when a nice house goes on the market under $200,000, there's more than one person trying to buy it. So as a seller, you're getting your maximum sales price, but as a buyer, sadly, you might miss out a couple times on a house that you like.
Overall, where's the market going now? I mean, from where I look, I'm not in the realtor world, but it kind of seems to have been stagnated for the last 10 years.
Interesting. I guess yes. They're constantly like rates are going up, mortgage rates, but that's not really like, I feel like almost it's a scare tactic because they don't really go up that much.
Well, rates are going up like a half a point.
Yes, and overall that's not a huge, it doesn't make a huge impact, but they're trying to use it to drive people to like, you got to buy now because if you wait 6 months or a year, it's going to be so much more expensive.
But the price of a house 10 years ago is about what you'd buy it for now.
Yes, I don't see a lot of the values changing, prices going up, except for the point that I just mentioned, which is the low inventory thing has been happening for quite a few years. So that is driving up prices of the houses on the lower end.
Sure.
If that makes sense.
What is the big seller in houses? Are people looking for two-family houses, ranch-style houses?
Single-family. Ranch is always number one, which is interesting. Ranch is the most desirable style of home.
Wow.
Single-level living.
What's the reason?
Single level living, you have everything on the one floor. So if you're a young family, your kids are, in the same floor as you. You don't have to worry about bedrooms upstairs, downstairs.
Okay.
Yeah. Yep. And the you can age in place. So if you're worried about getting older, you wouldn't have to move.
Aging in place.
Yeah, you could
For
stay
me,
in your ranch
I
forever.
sit in the same chair from morning till night.
Bob's aging in place right now.
I am, with my holy sweater.
Yeah, so that's the most desirable, but I find a lot of my younger buyers, which I also have a strange thing just for me personally. I work with a ton of young people and then a ton of much older people. I don't have like a middle of the road age point, so I'm popular with the super young and the pretty old. So like I closed a house for a 75-year-old couple last year.
Only the pretty old, not the ugly old?
The pretty old. But imagine taking a 30-year mortgage at 75.
And yes. Because you're still able to do that. Could I get a 30-year mortgage at 80?
You can. They can't discriminate based on age.
It's
illegal.
Well, what happens
if you qualify?
It's everybody else's problem after you're gone.
Is that what happens, basically?
Yeah, pretty much.
10 years I'm gone, well, the bank gets the house anyway, right?
Yep.
So they still win. They're not going to lose.
Or your estate can sell it if you have equity in the house and make some money, and then the bank gets paid off. But, you can still get a loan.
Wild. So you would recommend folks who are have lived in a house all their life, a senior.
Yep.
You would downsize, I guess. I mean, that would be you sort of go from a large house to a smaller house
if
or
you
whatever.
like. I mean, depending on how your house is set up, if you can stay in it, there's no reason to get rid of it, especially, if you've paid it off, paid it down.
We looked at, now that the kids are gone, we looked at getting us downsizing the house. Now, 12 years ago, we built what we're in now. And that was a fun process. So we says, all right, let's find a design. And in fact, you and I talked about this back last year. And by the time we look for the property, by the time we pick out the design and price out building that house, the mortgage would be what we're paying now.
Yeah, it's not saving anything, and you're getting a smaller house. And here's the kicker: you have to move. I don't like moving.
I hate moving. Now, as a realtor, you're supposed to say, we can help with that.
I say that. I'm always like, I'm a little too honest, because sometimes it's like we get close to closing day, and I'll tell my clients, I'm like, oh, this is so exciting. You're about to get a new house. And I'm like, oh, but the stinky part is now you got to move. You got to pack up all your stuff.
Yeah, and all the times I've moved, there's some commercial somewhere that says the average person moves 6 times in their lifetime. And I'm going, no. Yeah. And then I started looking back and I go, I've moved 5 times. So that's not that far off. And then each of those 5 times I've moved myself. And 12 years ago, I bought a trailer. That was my excuse for buying the trailer, to move, so I didn't have to pay somebody to move. I should have paid somebody to move. Yeah. And if I ever do this, whatever van lines is coming down the street, and here, you just make everything go from here over to there.
I'll be over there waiting.
No, I have the greatest. I've got 2 moving stories. from New York. Here, I'm gonna go there. I'm gonna complain about my moving story.
Just thinking about moving in New York gives me anxiety.
Yeah. I was moving to an apartment, and I had 3 apartments in New York, but I was moving from one to the other, and I saw a sign on a street pole: movers. Call this number. So
and you did?
I did. And it said like $19 an hour or something, and I thought, geez, that's not too bad.
Clearly, somebody never taught you don't call the guy on the telephone.
Holy God! You know what happened? They came, they took all the stuff, and
you never saw it again.
And well, it was I was in the
that
truck.
Would have been a good
They're
story.
moving. We're moving that thing, and we're in front of the apartment house, and they said to me now that we need another $300. I said, what do you mean another $300?
They were taxing your journey.
Yeah, and I said, you said this. No, this is, and we're not moving it out of here until we get to 300.
So they extorted you.
Yes.
It was extortion until I said, I think I said something like I'm a policeman or something. I work for the police. I lied, whatever it was.
Work for the mayor's office.
And mayor's office or whatever. So I managed to get out of the
extortion.
Deal. Yeah, the extortion deal. Now, the second time I moved from 47th Street. No, wait a minute. 51st Street to 47th Street on 9th Avenue. And I decided to save money by moving myself. And since I didn't have a car, I walked everything. 4 blocks.
Oh my gosh!
I walked except for the furniture, and I got somebody with a truck to do the large. There were like 3 large pieces. I lived in a studio.
One box at a time.
Isn't there a Seinfeld episode where Kramer has a couch or something he wants to buy? He's sitting on the couch because he doesn't want anybody else to buy. He gets up, walks around the corner, and then it's gone.
Oh yeah, it's really true. And talk about pathetic. It took me forever because I think every day I said I'm going to move another, and I had a lot of books, and so
just carrying boxes of books,
carrying from one to the other. It was like, at any rate, now we pay or whatever. And the last time when we moved to Westfield, James was in New York. He packed everything up from our apartment. It was like in all these boxes and all of them labeled. We had like 28 boxes that are still in the garage that have been never unpacked.
Oh, I got stuff in the basement. Same thing. I've got shelves and shelves worth of stuff. Hasn't moved since I moved in. Well, this summer, this spring, that's my goal is to unload it.
And I know how to do it. I've been doing it. While James has been ill with his foot, I have been taking once a week. I get 2 boxes, and I bring them their records and their books back there. So I bring the books in, and then I bring the books. I go through them, and I put some on shelves, and I throw most of the rest of them into a box, and then. Because I really want downtown to survive, and we need an independent bookstore in downtown Westfield. I bring it to my friends at Blue Umbrella Books.
Thank you.
To support that. And
you guys are good readers too, so that's a lot of good books.
Oh yeah, we got tons of books, but
are you kissing them before you No, because you're doing the tidying up. You're getting rid of those boxes.
Yeah, no. James isn't seeing. These are James's books, so
he's doing it while James is laid up, so that he can't chase him down the road.
That's what I mean. I say, James, do you really want the collection of Willa Cather's, all of Willa Cather's books, every one of them, Henry James books and stuff? And I'm going, I don't have any use for this. But then there are some that I kind of go, well, like the Winnie the Pooh books. I just couldn't get rid of Winnie the Pooh or whatever. So there are some, but I don't do any kissing with these books because I don't have any relationship. But
you and that sweater are close, though.
I'm going to give it another kiss. I'm really having anxiety, sweater loss anxiety.
Sweater anxiety.
Hey, 7:12 in the morning, everybody.
Since you blew through the 7 o'clock break.
I did. And you know what? Interestingly enough, let's go to the 7:15 song here.
That's what I figured.
Yeah. Because Dick Dale died. Do you know who Dick Dale is?
Dick Dale. Dun, 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 dun. What's the song? Darn it, I can't.
Oh,
think of the
you
song.
know it. You know it.
It's from
almost any surf rock and roll song.
Yes, yeah, it has that style in it. Yeah, it's a unique surfing guitar.
And he played forever. He played this guitar forever, and he died in around, I think he was 93 years old this past week. But the interesting thing was, he really wanted to play loudly, and he played so loud that he is considered the father of heavy metal. And no, honest to God, and he traveled, and if you watched him over the years, he really evolved in the way he looked. Dick Dale and the Surf Tones, or whatever they were called, then become, or Deltones, I think they were. Then he gets into, in his later years, he's wearing the heavy metal garb, and so he's the father of heavy metal. But his first big hit was back or early '60s, or maybe '59 or so, '57. And it was called Miserlou. And the interesting thing, this was a big hit in 1955. You're going to recognize this as a theme from Pulp Fiction, the movie Pulp Fiction.
And then it was redone by a later group, a recent group.
Oh, really?
Yes.
Yeah.
Well, in fact, maybe we'll play a piece of that later on.
Oh, okay, gotcha. But Miserlou is based on an Arab song. It has this Middle Eastern feel to it, but it was a huge hit. So let's play Miserlou by Dick Dale and the father of heavy metal. Rest in peace, Mr. Dale.
Support for the community programming of WSKB is provided by Bay State Dental. Comprehensive dentistry at 14 convenient locations in Springfield, Chicopee, Longmeadow, West Springfield, Belchertown, East Longmeadow, Ludlow, Northampton, Greenfield, and Wilbraham, as well as 29 Broad Street in Westfield. Bay State Dental makes it a priority to help you achieve and maintain the healthy smile you deserve. On the web at baystatedental.com.
One of our underwriters here at WSKB's Community Radio is Carson Center for Health and Human Services, a nonprofit organization located at 20 Broad Street in Westfield. They provided behavioral health and rehabilitation services in communities throughout Western Massachusetts since 1963. There are services for children, adolescents, adults, families, and couples. You can find them on the web at carsoncenter.org or at 413-572-4132.
Give a Hoot Day 2019. Fellow Westfield State students and alumni, please join us for this year's Give a Hoot Day on April 10th and 11th. The Give a Hoot event plans to focus 1,839 minutes of their efforts on encouraging donor participation in support of securing the best possible future for the university as well as its current students. This year, Give a Hoot Day is putting emphasis on increasing student participation with the event. For Give a Hoot Day, donation jars will be located in both Wilson Cafe and the Dining Commons, one for each class, as a fun way to raise money for the university. When placing a donation, students will have the chance to write down their name and graduation year. The class with the most students who participated will win a cash prize for their class council. Hashtag Give a Hoot Day will be held on April 10th and 11th this year at Westfield State University. We are encouraging all students to wear their Westfield State University gear on these days to help showcase their school pride and sense of community.
We thank the generosity of our underwriters. For more information, please contact the Westfield State Foundation at 413-572-8646. Friday mornings is something different on 89.5 FM. It's JP's Talk About Town.
Community Radio.
89.5 WSKB.
Live from the campus of Westfield State University. This is 89.5 FM, WSKB, Westfield.
Wow, it's Tuesday morning. Westfield's own Bob Plass is here. Westfield's own Bob.
I thought you were going to say the piano player was from Westfield.
Yeah, no, that's Marion
Westfield's
McPartland.
own Bob Plass.
No. Bob Plass is here with Jay Pagluka, modulated, and as always, and the madness maker over there of March, Pete Coles, whatever his name is.
That guy on the other side of the board with the green hair.
Green hair guy.
Bookstore diva par excellence, and the regent of realty herself, Jessica Martin. Jessica is associated with Blue Umbrella Books, which is our independent bookstore in downtown Westfield. If you asked me, I could write a book about the way you walk and whisper and wear your hair and look. I could write a sonnet of how we met so the world would never forget.
Yes, thank you.
And the secret magic of your smile of the plot is just to tell you that I love you a lot. And the world discovers as my book ends how to make two lovers of friends. Well, we'll scratch the last part. Isn't that nice?
It's lovely. A little syrupy, but okay.
Yeah, that was that's Richard Rogers and Jerome Hart. Not Jerome
honey that you
Hart.
sell.
Lawrence Hart. Yeah,
Yes.
yeah. If you asked me, I could write a book at any rate. Hey,
Thank you
have
for
you been
stopping,
reading
Bob.
some good books yet?
I have been reading some good
What do you
books.
got? What do you
I'm
read?
currently reading a book called The Hiding Place, which is a new book by C.J. Tudor, and she's a new author. She's British, and she wrote a book, I think it came out last year, called The Chalk Man, which I really enjoyed. And she's got a little obvious Stephen King influence, so that's really, you could
what-
tell why I might like her.
So The Hiding Place.
Yes.
Yes.
Yep.
And long book?
No, short book. It's like 300 and something pages, so
Really?
it's a short one. Yeah.
Is it a hard copy? One of those
yes,
hard.
brand new, just came out, so it's a hardcover.
Again, what's the name of it? The Hiding
The
Place.
Hiding Place. Yeah.
And by whom?
C.J. Tudor.
Tudor.
You got it.
You really liking it?
I'm really liking it. I only think I have about 50 pages left to read.
What is being hid, if we might ask that question?
I think that I would spoil if I said what was being hid, but yeah, no, it's a
something
a nice
or someone is
something
or
from the
someone.
past coming back to haunt the present, and the unraveling of that mystery, mixed with little ghosty type stuff. Yeah, spooky stuff.
I have been reading, and I avoided this until I found it down at your bookstore, because you have every one of his Dan Brown books. You remember how
You've been avoiding Dan Brown.
Yeah, well, I read that last one, which was about Inferno. Okay, and Dan Brown wrote the Da Vinci Code. Then he wrote he wrote Angels and Demons first, then the Da Vinci Code. But Da Vinci Code came out first, then Angels and Demons, and then The Lost Symbol, and then he did Inferno, and this is his book, the book that I read. And remember how I said after I read Inferno, I'm never going to read another Dan Brown book again. It's formulaic, and it's one of those books that every chapter forces you to read the next chapter, etc. I mean, he's a really good writer that way. Well, I saw the Origin book, and Origin has been on the bestseller. And I broke my own rule, and it was in paperback, and I said, you know what, I'm going to pick it up. So I picked up Origin, and lo and behold, it's the best Dan Brown book I've ever read.
Wow. I still have never read a Dan Brown, so.
Oh, God,
Can you
have
read
to.
that? Is it a standalone, or is it part of?
Oh, no,
it's
they're all
connected
standalone.
to-
Oh, no. They're all standalone. But Origin asks the question, where are we going and where are we from?
Oh boy, that's a little heavy for my reading enjoyment.
Well, I usually his books are. He's a man. I think he's a professor or something that sort of gets involved in these giant plots that usually are driven by the idea that you look at a drawing like the Da Vinci Code is based on the Last Supper. If you've ever read the Da Vinci Code. And so Da Vinci has all these symbols in the Last Supper that lead him to solve something in the world, and to solve a murder or two or three or whatever. So he and it's all based on, the books are filled with facts about Da Vinci, and Last Supper and Angels and Demons takes place, I think, in Rome, and there are all these real life places which he describes really, really well. And then Inferno is based on Dante's Inferno, and it's about the layers of hell and all of that. Origin is based on whether there's a God or not, believe it or not, and it is a very, very good read. And the main character, whose name is Langdon, played by Tom Hanks in the movies, okay, he appears now and then, but it's not every chapter. And the whole book takes place not all around the world like some of his books do, but in Spain, in Barcelona and Bilbao, Spain. And he describes those places and the sights in those places so well. He also cites these real life that are actually in existence, church organizations, which are kind of shady.
Oh.
And there's always a woman in the books. There's no romance, but this one happens to be the fiancée of the King of France's son, who's about to become king. And I got to say, I give it an 8. And James is reading it, and both James and I sort of have this formulaic book thing. When you enter the book, I said, I'm satisfied. It's not like, and you can't figure it out. There are lots of surprises along the way. So I am giving a 10.
You went from an 8 to a 10.
Oh, no. Did I give a 10? Oh, I gave an 8. But I am giving an 8 to Origin by Dan Brown.
Which is a 5 if you're discussing at Blue Umbrella Books. We use a 1 to 5 system. And
gotcha.
5 is the best.
I gotcha. So do you have a book that club coming up? Then,
we do, actually. Tomorrow is our regular book club meeting, and we're discussing The Black Klansman tomorrow.
The Black Klansman. This is the book that is based on the movie Spike Lee's
movie. Yep.
Is based on this. And I think it's about somebody that infiltrates the KKK. Is that correct?
That's an excellent question, and it sounds right, but I'll be perfectly honest. I'm going to rush through reading starting right now today. It's not a long book, so I haven't even started it yet.
Oh,
I know.
God.
I know.
You
our
got
our lovely group member, Sarah, is actually going to lead the discussion, so the pressure's not on me so hard.
Oh, well, you'll get to it some way or another.
But that's tomorrow night. So if anybody has read that or watched the movie and wants to drop in on the discussion, we start at 6.
Yeah, it's supposed to be an incredibly good movie.
Mm-hmm.
More so than the Green Book, which won the Academy Award. And a friend of mine saw it and really didn't like. And then another friend saw it and said, I love it. And then I was asked to go to see it this week, and I sort of turned it down because it sounded formulaic. And but at any rate, the Black Klansman does sound very interesting to me. So hey, 7:30 in the morning, folks, and we are going to be coming back. I would like to play, if you don't mind, Peter. Could we play Dionne Warwick's Alfie?
Sure.
I watched, based on a book, I watched a movie this week, a musical by Burt Bacharach, of all people, and Hal David, called Lost Horizon, who, let me give you who's in this musical movie. Liv Ullmann, John Gielgud, George Kennedy, Sally Kellerman. All of these names don't ring a bell at all.
Not for me. I'm sorry.
No, I'm sorry. Yeah, you Gen Xer. And Charles Boyer. John Gielgud plays. It's based on Lost Horizon. Do you know Lost Horizon by Pilton? It was a classic book back when I was growing up. I guess it's not considered so much a classic now. We get the name or the term Shangri-La from it. What is Shangri-La? Have you ever heard that? A place that's like Shangri-La?
Fancy schmancy.
No, a mythical place a city that doesn't exist, right?
Yes. Your kisses take me to Shangri-La.
All right, a fancy
Your
place
kisses magic.
Three Dog Night sang about it. Oh, that's Shambhala. Never mind.
No, Shambhala. Shangri-La. Yeah, Shangri-La is a place in the Himalayas where time stands still.
Ah.
And so if you're and everything is perfect. But if you leave Shangri-La,
I thought that was here.
You end up losing your good looks, and because you might be 80 years old, but you look 30, and then you leave Shangri-La,
and it catches up
with you. And so this plane goes down in the Himalayas over there, and they end up in Shangri-La, and they learn some stuff and whatever. So at any rate, it's an interesting film. And Cecile Gielgud playing a Himalayan. He was Arthur in the movie Arthur. Remember the guy that played? He was the
butler.
The butler.
It's what I live for.
Yes, yeah. Big Shakespearean actor. Well, he plays the Dalai Lama's right-hand man, okay, in this thing. So to see him is a very interesting thing, and to see these non-singers singing, etc., etc. But the interesting thing for me was Hal David and Burt Bacharach's music, which is so intricate, and you can't get it out of your head. I can't get this song, "The world is a circle without a beginning, and nobody knows where it
real song,
really ends." Well, I can't get it out of my head. That's from Lost Horizon. So I went back to Burt Bacharach stuff. His music, his music is so different than other people's music.
It is.
You know why? Why? Do you have any idea?
Because he's Burt Bacharach?
No. But Burt Bacharach, instead of writing sing-song music, okay, he uses rhythms that are way unlike other songs. And his music is like conversation. And one of the best songs, in fact, I think his favorite song ever, was for a movie starring Michael Caine called Alfie. Do you remember that?
I remember the movie, yeah.
What's it all about, Alfie? And he made a star, Burt Bacharach did, of and Hal David, of Dionne Warwick. And the lyrics on this are just perfect. If only fools are kind, he is one of the lyrics. Then listen to this. I think we could learn from this song. Alfie, what's it all about, Alfie?
Is it just for the moment we live? What's it all about when you sort it out, Alfie? Are we meant to take more than we give? Or are we meant to be kind? And if only fools are kind, Alfie, then I guess it is wise to be cruel. And if life belongs only to the strong, Alfie, what will you lend on an old golden rule? As sure as I believe there's a heaven above, Alfie, I know there's something much more, something even non-believers can believe in. I believe in love, Alfie. Without true love, we just exist. Alfie, until you find the love you've missed, you're nothing, Alfie. When you walk, let your heart lead the way, and you'll find love any day.
Support for the community programming of WSKB is provided by Bay State Dental. Comprehensive dentistry at 14 convenient locations in Springfield, Chicopee, Longmeadow, West Springfield, Belchertown, East Longmeadow, Ludlow, Northampton, Greenfield, and Wilbraham, as well as 29 Broad Street in Westfield. Bay State Dental makes it a priority to help you achieve and maintain the healthy smile you deserve. On the web at baystatedental.com.
We thank the generosity of our underwriters. For more information, please contact the Westfield State Foundation at 413-572-8646. Friday mornings is something different on 89.5 FM. It's JP's Talk About Town.
Community Radio.
89.5 WSKB.
Live from the campus of Westfield State University, this is 89.5 FM, WSKB, Westfield.
Wow, it's Tuesday morning in Westfield, and you are listening to Wow, It's Tuesday. I'm Bob Plass. J. Peg Luke is here. Peter Coles, and the bookstore diva herself, Jessica Martin. And on the phone, we have a wonderful writer, Tom Deedy. Now, Tom, are you there? Hello?
I'm here. Thanks for having me.
Fine, Tom. Tom, where do you live?
I live in Holliston, Massachusetts, about 90 minutes, I guess, east of you folks.
Ah, gotcha. Yeah, so it's 90 minutes away. So you got up early today to be on our show, and I appreciate that. You are connected in a sense to the Blue Umbrella Bookstore downtown. Am I right?
Yeah, that's correct. A couple of years back, one of the other members of the New England Horror Writers community, Christopher Golden, held a writer's coffee house. Jessica was nice enough to host the event there, and ever since then, I've kind of stayed connected with the bookshop. I attend a monthly book club meeting there. They've hosted some book signings and things like that for me, so they've been wonderful.
Yes, and you are about to participate in a Ghost Stories event down there. Am I correct? If I asked that correct, film it. Yes, tell us about it.
Russell Atwood runs what he calls a Ghost Stories Live event, which authors and other folks just go into the bookshop and read either their ghost stories or some classic ghost stories. And afterwards, there'll be kind of audience participation where they can share their own stories of, supernatural events they've had in their lives or that they've experienced.
Ah, interesting.
Did you write a story for the event, Tom? Are you reading a classic, or are you sharing an actual ghost story that happened to you?
I am going to share an excerpt from an unpublished novel that I'm working on that's a ghost story.
Ooh, so something new.
Something new.
That's exciting.
Interesting. Now, folks don't know this about you, or probably they do if they know of Tom Deedy, that you are the Bram Stoker Award-winning author, Tom Deedy. Bram Stoker's Award is a very prodigious... how do you say that?
Prodigious.
No, prestigious. Prestigious? Prodigious. Prestigious.
Prestigious.
It's prestigious. A really cool That's the word I'm thinking.
Bob's still having.
There it is.
Bob just finished his first coffee.
Yeah. So, prestige. Tell us about this, Bram. What did you win that for?
So, the Bram Stoker Award is an award presented by the Horror Writers Association every year, and there's about 6 or 8 different categories, from best novel, best short fiction, poetry, collection, all different things. Mm-hmm. And my first novel, Haven, won the Bram Stoker Award for superior achievement in a first novel back in 2016.
So 2016, you published Haven, and it immediately wins an award, which is pretty well known in the world of horror books, right?
That's correct. And I think I was very fortunate that the publisher that ended up purchasing Haven is called Cemetery Dance, and they're not obviously one of the big 5 publishers, but they're very well known in the horror community. They do a lot of special edition books of like Stephen King and some of the more classic horror writers, Robert McCamm and Dan Simmons, those guys. So I think they helped people, help my book get attention because of who published it.
Yeah. Could you help us to understand, Jessica, both Jessica and I are wanting to know the difference between a horror book and, let's say, a murder mystery. What would be the difference?
Yeah. So it's very subjective, I think. Unfortunately, a lot of people associate horror with kind of the worst thing they've ever seen, like in terms of movies, like the bloodiest, goriest thing they've ever seen. But horror is really something that's written to scare you or horrify you, where the point of the mystery might be the mystery itself to solve something, where the point of a horror book, it may involve a mystery, but it's more geared to the emotion it'll bring out in you than the story itself, I guess.
I think of the American Horror Story series on television, and from year to year, they've taken a different slant on horror, or the different. You've seen that series? Yeah,
they kind of. I've seen it. They kind of pick a different horror trope each year and focus on that. Once it was haunted house, once it was asylum, witches, things like that. Yeah, I'm familiar with it.
Right. And when you choose to write a book about a horror novel, do you then say, okay, which subgenre am I going to write this time, or whatever? How do you go about choosing your plot?
That's a great question.
Yeah, that is a great question. I think, I don't know if I can speak for all writers, but for me, I feel my stories are very character-driven, so I don't do a lot of outlining. I kind of just let the story tell itself as I write, and I might start with something as simple as one short scene that pops into my head, or one character that I think might be interesting to other people, and I just build on that. So I don't think I really go into a story planning what subgenre it's going to be in. I just kind of let it organically evolve into whatever the story that needs to be told is.
And if I can speak as a reader of Tom's writing, the horror thing is really the character development thing that he's talking about is the common theme throughout, because his books so far, I feel like, have been very different. I think I'm right about that, Tom. Your Haven and Weekend Getaway are two completely different genres of horror. And both scared me, and both are super well written. So I feel like they're both well written.
Actually, you were kind of like born to play to write horror stories, because the name when I saw your name, Tom, and you get this all the time, I'm sure. Tom Dady is spelled Deddy, Deady. Am I right there?
That's correct, and a lot of people mispronounce it as Deddy, and a lot of people think it's actually a pen name because I'm a horror writer, and it's really my real name.
It's a good name for a horror writer.
Yeah, but does somebody choose to be a horror writer, or do you, when you first began writing, did you say, I am going to write horror stories, or I'm just going to write stories, and they all ended up having some horrifying theme to them or approach?
I think it's what I grew up enjoying, so it's what I ended up writing. I grew up in the late 70s, early 80s, where horror was huge. Every bookstore had its own horror section, dominated by the names of Stephen King, Peter Straub, Robert McCamm, and all these. It was very iconic, and it was very, I guess, almost prestigious to be a horror writer back then, where things took a different turn in the 90s, and it became very, I hate to use the word torture porn, but more gross out for the sake of gross out than, a story-driven horror novel. So horror became kind of a stigma in a lot of ways, that, oh, you're just a horror writer, why don't you write real things? And so I think, I don't know if I was born into it, but I was definitely raised into it as a child and an early adult.
Yes, yeah. What horrifies you as a person, not as a writer?
Aside from today's political climate,
that was a pretty...
honestly... Sorry. The things that horrify me are more of the realistic things. Like, I have children, so, something happening to my children horrifies me. Family members getting sick or ill, things like that. I don't think I'm, horrified by, ghosts or, the fear of something like that. It's more the real fear of what could happen in the world that scares me.
Yes, yeah. Your books are it's sort of like a book that you can't put down. Like I go into the store 2 days ago, and Russell Atwood, who's this great host down at Blue Umbrella Books, says, we've got this great guy on for your show on Tuesday, and here is his book, Weekend Getaway. And if you get a chance, read it. And I thought, oh my God, I'm in the I'm reading Thomas Merton's biography now, so I'm in a real heady place, you know. And so I said, do I have time to read this and stuff? I said, well, look, I'll read a couple of chapters so I'll get a sense of who he is, and then be able to talk to him and generally about this. I read Weekend Getaway, and I can't put it down, so much so that last night it's 11:30, and I'm saying, I got to finish this book before I go to bed, not because Tom is on my show tomorrow, but because I need to know what happens. And you...
Well, thank you. That's very kind of you to say.
Yeah. Sometimes when I'm given a book with a local author, I can be excited about it and or disappointed. But with this, I got to say, boy, you really know how to do it. And did you?
Well, thank you.
Did somebody teach you how to do this?
Well, I mean, I've been writing for a long time, although I haven't been published for a long time.
Yeah.
But when I did finally finish Haven, and I realized that I could do it, I went back to school and got my master's in English and creative writing. So yes, I've been trained, but I think a lot of it is just the practice of writing. Just like anything else, you have to do it a lot.
You got it.
Get better, and to be a good writer, you have to be an avid reader, and I read in all genres, and I guess I learn from what I read in terms of what works, what doesn't work, pacing, things like that.
Jess?
I just wanted to point out that with your endorsement on Weekend Getaway, and I've also read the book and found it to be very scary, and I enjoyed reading it very much, but Tom also has an introduction that he can brag about. You've had some pretty good authors endorse your books, so tell us about your introduction on Weekend Getaway.
Yeah, Weekend Getaway, I asked Josh Mallerman, who is now uber famous for his success in Bird Box, both the movie and the obviously the novel that the movie's based on.
The Sandra Bullock movie, the Bird Box. Yeah,
that's correct. And he actually announced yesterday he's written a sequel called Mallory about the main character, which caused quite an uproar on Facebook yesterday because nobody knew that was coming. But I met Josh several years ago at a writing event out at the Stanley Hotel, which is the hotel that Stephen King stayed at and got the inspiration to write The Shining. And Josh had just written Bird Box, and it had been met with some success, but it hadn't kind of blown up to what it is today. And he's just a super nice guy and really down-to-earth guy, and we kind of became friends, and I've seen him at other events and stayed in touch with him, and I was very honored when he agreed to write the introduction to the book, but I was completely blown away.
Oh, by what he says. I mean, you really, he really is excited about your work.
Yeah, he's a great guy, and if you haven't read him, get out there and read him, because he is kind of turning the horror genre upside down with some of his... Every one of his books is completely different and really doesn't follow any of the horror tropes that are traditional. They're all very, very unique books. Fascinating stuff.
Similar to yours. Well, I wondered if Peter, should we take a break or should we continue? We should take a break for a few minutes. A quick break. Okay. We're going to take a quick break. I'm going to play a little of a song by a Finnish guitarist who is from the Rhythm Future Quartet. Unbelievable guitarist. He is stationed in New York. He's from Finland. His name is Olli Soikeli, and this is the Olli Soikeli Trio. Soikeli is spelled Soikelli. Olli Soikeli.
Underwriting for community radio is provided by the YMCA of Greater Westfield. Every day, the YMCA strengthens the community through programs and services focused on youth development, healthy living, and social responsibility. For all the Y's many programs and services, visit us on the web at www.westfieldymca.org. The YMCA, 67 Court Street in downtown Westfield. We're more than a gym. We're a cause.
Give a Hoot Day 2019. Fellow Westfield State students and alumni, please join us for this year's Give a Hoot Day on April 10th and 11th. The Give a Hoot event plans to focus 1,839 minutes of their efforts on encouraging donor participation in support of securing the best possible future for the university as well as its current students. This year, Give a Hoot Day is putting emphasis on increasing student participation with the event. For Give a Hoot Day, donation jars will be located in both Wilson Cafe and the Dining Commons, one for each class, as a fun way to raise money for the university. When placing a donation, students will have the chance to write down their name and graduation year. The class with the most students who participated will win a cash prize for their class council. Hashtag Give a Hoot Day will be held on April 10th and 11th this year at Westfield State University. We are encouraging all students to wear their Westfield State University gear on these days to help showcase their school pride and sense of community.
We thank the generosity of our underwriters. For more information, please contact the Westfield State Foundation at 413-572-8646.
Wednesday mornings from 6 till 8, it's Tina Gorman with Wake Up Wednesday.
Community Radio.
89.5 WSKB.
Live from the campus of Westfield State University, this is 89.5 FM, WSKB, Westfield.
Wow, it's Tuesday morning. It is March 19th, 2019. We're here with Jessica Martin from Blue Umbrella Books at blueumbrellabooks.com. And we've got Tom Dady on the phone.
It's Dee Dee.
Dee Dee. Oh, my God. Please forgive me, Tom. At least I didn't call you Tom Dedy.
Thank you. No worries. No worries.
Weekend Getaway is the book that both Jessica and I would love to recommend to our readers as a beginning point. And it's available down at Blue Umbrella Books. But so tell everybody about the plot line of this.
Yeah, so Blue Umbrella essentially is Blue Umbrella. Now I'm talking strange, too. Weekend Getaway.
Weekend Getaway.
Like Blue Umbrella.
You could write a story called Blue Umbrella. Yeah.
Maybe I will.
Yeah.
So Weekend Getaway starts out kind of innocuously about a guy that, taking his wife on a weekend getaway to basically try to save his marriage. They've been struggling with their marriage since the death of their child. And this is kind of his last-ditch effort to try to save the marriage.
Mm-hmm.
And things happen. They encounter some kind of rowdy kids that kind of harass them a little bit. And when they get to the secluded cabin where they're actually staying, the kids show up there and start harassing them again. And it's a very short book. It's very fast-moving. I don't want to go too much beyond that.
Sure.
Because it gets into a little bit of a spoiler.
It's kind of hard to tell what happens there.
It is, and it starts out, and that's kind of one of my, I guess, trademarks in writing, is to take ordinary people and put them in extraordinary situations, which this definitely turns into.
Mm-hmm.
But at the same time, to get back to my earlier point about, being character driven, there are obviously a lot of underlying themes there. The dissolving of a marriage is a real thing that people deal with.
Right.
The main character suffers from anxiety, which is another, very prominent.
Oh boy, he's really he gets panic attacks all the time.
Exactly, and so those are some of me comes out in my writing, and those are a couple issues I've dealt with over the years. So, obviously I put them against a backdrop of more, I don't want to say supernatural, but extraordinary situations.
It's not as supernatural. But the interesting thing, I think, Jessica, you might agree with this, is that while it's a horrifying book, it ends in a very surprising way and a very hopeful way. And also loving way. The experience that you have going through as you read the book, and at the end of it, you then say, well, was that experience worth it? Because some good comes out of it in a way. And it's a great book for discussion, and it's a novella, and a real fast read, whether you're not going to be able to put down, I would say. Right, Jess?
Oh, yeah, I agree.
Did you like that? Were you surprised at the ending? And who?
Yes.
Yeah,
yep.
Okay,
yes,
we can't go any further than that.
I don't want to spoil anything, but I was surprised, and I always enjoy that. So.
Yeah. Now, Tom, for my friends in Wisconsin and in Germany, how do we find this book? If you're not here. In Westfield.
Yep, all my books are on Amazon.com in both paperback and Kindle version, and they're also available in audio format on Audible.
Oh, wild! And do you do the reading yourself?
Absolutely not. Nobody wants to hear me narrate a book. I work with a great narrator named Matt Godfrey. He's done a ton of a lot of horror novels, and he's got a great ability to kind of use different inflections in his voice to distinguish between characters. And, he just fits my style of writing very well. So he's done 3 out of the 4 of my books.
Sure. So, and you've written how many books so far?
I have 4 available.
Which are? Just to name them so people know. Your first was Haven, the Bram Stoker winner.
Haven, correct. Haven. I followed that up with Eternal Darkness, which is my take on the vampire trope. Mm-hmm. And then Weekend Getaway, the novella, was my 3rd book.
Mm-hmm.
And my most recent publication is kind of a 2-novella collection. It's 2 novellas within one book, and they're loosely tied together.
Mm-hmm.
And I would call them, I guess, one of the stories is kind of closer to like a mystery, and then the second one is a straight horror story, and they have overlapping settings and one overlapping character.
Tom, what's the name of that book?
That's called Backwater.
Backwater.
Thumbs up on that one too.
Oh
I read
God!
that recently.
Okay, well, I gotta pick up one of these other ones and read it. Tom, it's a pleasure to talk with you. It's time for us to go back to the real world, and may your world be filled with good reading, like Weekend Getaway, Tom, and also with no horror whatsoever.
One more thing. When is Ghost Stories Live?
Oh yeah! Oh for God! Yeah. When are you going to be? When people come down and you'll sign the book for them? You're going to be at Ghost Stories Live. What's the date on that? Do you know?
Yep, that's this Saturday, and I will be there from 6 to 8 for Ghost Stories Live.
That's at Blue Umbrella Books right here on the green, and we look forward. Maybe I'll come down if I have a time to shake your hand and thank you for being with us. Thank you very much. I appreciate it, and we'll talk soon, I hope, again. Write another book. Write a Blue Umbrella book about All right. Great to talk with you, Tom. Thanks. Bye. Hey, just another hour or two has gone by. We've wasted another 2 hours in people's lives, and everyone's come out on the other side. We will see you in a month. Good luck with everything, and thanks for coming.
Thanks for having me.
What are we going to play, Peter, on the way out?
You wanted George Strait.
I do. George Strait's got a new album out. He's been singing forever. He's about 67 years old. He's been married to all these country legends. And this is his song, Honky Tonk Machine. I love this.
Like a tambourine, makes a beeline over to that old jukebox, fills it up to the top, and the needle drops, and it's off like a rocket in a neon haze, spinning them back to the good old days. Beer gets to flowing and the whiskey pours. There ain't an empty spot on the old dance floor. All cowboy hats, boots and jeans, riding that honky-tonk time machine. The jukebox don't rock, and the record's gonna be the only thing that pops. He's an old school, cold, long neck DJ. Look out now, here comes them old green snakes, and it's off like a rocket in a neon haze, sending them back to the good old days. Beer gets to flowing and the whiskey pours. There ain't an empty spot on the old dance floor. All cowboy hats, boots and jeans, riding that honky-tonk time machine. And everything between, he's flying that honky-tonk time machine, and it's off like a rocket in a neon haze, spinning them back to the good old days. Beer gets to flowing and the whiskey pours. There ain't an empty spot on the old dance floor. All cowboy hats, boots and jeans, riding that honky-tonk time machine. Everybody back in MWC's riding that honky-tonk time machine. Well, he comes in here on the 1st and 15th, pockets just jingling like a tambourine. Makes a beeline over to that old jukebox, fills it up to the top, and the needle drops.
Support for the